Hello and welcome to 3.0 TV. I am Vishakha Thakur. In recent times, it has been observed that tokenization has been gaining a lot of traction as more and more companies are exploring the opportunities for widening their customer base with the use of Web3 technology. To understand the intricacies and to explain about usefulness of this immersive technology, we have been joined by Mr. Gary Bogatin, Chief Investment Officer of WiFi Map. Mr. Gary, welcome on 3.0 TV. To begin with, can you help us understand what exactly is your company all about and how is it utilizing Web3 technology for promoting Wi-Fi services?
Sure. So Wi-Fi Map is a Wi-Fi finder. So that we started off around 8 years ago in the Web2 space. And we're a Wi-Fi finder, a simple Wi-Fi finder that helps people find free Wi-Fi all around the world, specifically when they're traveling and they don't have internet. We transferred to Web 3.0 company a year ago, but we were Web 3.0 really from the beginning because everything we've done is crowdsourced. So every single Wi-Fi hotspot on our map has been brought to us by one of our users or members. So we really was an easy move over from Web 2.0 to Web 3.0 from us. We decided to tokenize to be able to incentivize our community and pay them, in another word, so that they can have value for the job that they're doing, which is adding hotspots and adding other features that we need, points of interest that we need onto the map.
So, according to you, what are the basics of tokenization and the impact of tokenization? If you can just simplify for our users.
Okay, so that's actually a really interesting question. Tokenization in its simplest form is taking any physical asset and bringing it to the digital world. So you can basically tokenize anything. And I've read a lot of use cases about tokenizing almost everything out there. In reality, what tokens allow you to do is it gives you, as a company or as a person, the flexibility to bring liquidity to your project. So before, we only had really one way of bringing liquidity to a project, which is going public. Now, with a very simple form of creating tokens, which doesn't take too long, depending on what you decide to do with it, you can basically tokenize, as an example, a hotel or real estate. And before, you weren't able to fractionalize or split up ownership in a real estate platform. So when you buy a house now, if you need to get funding, you can go and find 10 people that believe in your idea. And let's say it's an investment project, and you could split it up equally where every single person buys and now has ownership via token that they can sell and flip. And also because it's a smart contract, receive dividends directly from the smart contract. So you don't have to know the people that you're working with anymore.
Can you please throw some light on what all things can be tokenized?
Sure. I guess the simplest thing that people really understand is US dollar and gold. So basically, we've taken a physical US dollar and created USDT, which is the majority of what crypto world is trades on. That's a form of tokenization. It's an easy way. You don't have to anymore send dollars, which you need to use a banking platform and so on. You can just do it via token, and depending on which platform you're on or which layer you're on, either be Polygon, Ethereum, or whatever, you could just send it to another person's wallet in mere seconds. Other forms of tokenization that people understand is gold. Gold is something that people really value around the world for inflation and protection and stuff like that. And gold is extremely hard to move. It's weighs kilograms if you have a lot of it. You can tokenize it and then you can move it on a USB stick, or you could send it to somebody, which used to be impossible with gold halfway around the world. So those are two things. Real estate is seeing a big move into tokenization as well, where people are funding projects now using tokens, as I mentioned earlier, particularly investment projects. And I've heard even crazy things like people trying to tokenize themselves. So instead of paying here in America, we pay very expensive universities. So you can tokenize yourself and against your future profits. So people can pay for your university instead of taking out student debt. And then later on, they get 20 years of a certain percentage of your profits. So if they believe in your ability to perform in the workspace and make money, it could be a good investment for people, and it's a great investment for students. So of course, that's an extreme, but it's all around.
So recently, tokenized U.S. treasuries have surpassed the $600 million mark. What is your take on this?
Yeah, it's very interesting. Yeah, the tokenization of treasuries, I think it reached $600 million recently. It's an interesting thing because before it was very difficult, not difficult, but it was, you needed to have a bank and a broker, and you had to be a US citizen in some cases to buy treasuries. Now you can buy treasuries and you're outside of kind of the realm of the regulation of the United States government, allowing anyone from around the world to buy it. If you wanted to buy it in Japan before, it was an expensive process and a cumbersome process for a regular Japanese citizen to go and buy US treasuries because they were yielding 5% as an example versus 0.5% in Japan. Now it could be done very, very easily on either a decentralized or centralized platform where they can go in with one click of the button, buy and now hold the US treasuries and receive the yield directly via smart contracts.
Before we let you go, can you please highlight what are the regulatory concerns as well as the factors involved in tokenization ecosystem?
So tokenization as a whole is a beautiful thing, and there's no negative to it. The biggest rub in the space is the regulation, and every country is regulating it a little bit differently. Here in the US, we're regulating it very, very aggressively. Basically, all three tokens fall under payment, utility, and security token. What you can say is with the tokenization of things, it could be seen as a security because it no longer provides utility, but it gives you dividends. So the regulation is where really the slowdown in the uptake of the space is. Now, saying that, different countries or in different regions are regulating it differently. Like I said, in the US, it's kind of a no-go right now until we hear back some more clarification on the regulation. But in places like Europe, Dubai, they're a little bit more progressive and a little bit of ahead of it, and are allowing certain tokenizations and certain things to already kind of extend.
All right, so thank you so much, Mr. Gary, for being with us and sharing your views on tokenization and its future prospects.
Thanks. Goodbye.
So this was Mr. Gary, who shared insights on tokenization and its future prospects. Keep watching 3.0 TV, and for more such interviews, log on to our website www.3versetv.io or scan the QR code. This is me, Vishakha Thakur, signing off.